You are not ready for this. No, seriously. Grab a seat, maybe a helmet, because what went down in Atlanta at that Falcons game wasn't just a family argument. It was a full-blown cultural explosion that had the internet gasping, jaws on the floor, and timelines straight up catching fire. T.I., the self-made king of Atlanta, publicly apologizing to 50 Cent. That alone is headline material. But wait, that's not even the part that broke the internet. Because minutes later, live on camera, T.I. He put his own son, KingHarris, in a headlock. And yes, you read that right. The footage is real, it's viral, and it's savage. What makes a grown man, a Grammy-winning icon, go from diplomacy to raw, fatherly aggression in seconds? Was it frustration, pride, or just straight-up chaos? And why is the world still replaying this clip like it's the finale of the hottest reality show you didn't know you were subscribed to? The smoke between T.I. and 50 Cent is already legendary, but now throw in a live. On-camera father-son confrontation, social media exploding, memes flying faster than a Drake diss track, and you've got a story that's not just news. It's a cultural event no one asked for, but everyone is obsessed with. So buckle up. This isn't just rap drama. It's family, fame, and fury rolled into one viral spectacle. You are not ready for the story that just dropped, and no, this isn't another watered-down celebrity rumor you scroll past on your feed. And this is full-on chaos with Grammy-winning rap royalty, billion-dollar moguls, and a young man trying to claim his own throne all colliding in one explosive sequence that had the internet screaming. It started as what you might have thought was a simple feud between two rap legends, T.Y. and 50 Cent, but quickly escalated into something that not even the wildest hip-hop blogs predicted. You're talking apologies on podcasts, headlocks on camera, leaked Instagram lives, and enough social media fire to burn your phone just by looking at it. How does a man like T.I., who built an empire from nothing in Bankhead, Atlanta, go from publicly apologizing to one of the most infamous moguls in rap history to physically grappling with his own son, KingHarris, all in the same week? That's the question that has everyone from Twitter analysts to late-night hosts talking. And the shocking part? Millions watched, millions recorded, and the footage is still looping. Like a cultural car crash you cannot look away from. Let's start at the top, because if you don't understand the history, you're missing half the explosion. T.E., Atlanta's self-made hustler turned mogul, has never been a man to hold back. He's climbed the ladder from the streets to Forbes pages, dropped bars that shaped a generation, and curated a public persona that screams control and dominance. 50 Cent, the Queensborn, South Jamaica-raised heavyweight. He has done the same from the opposite coast, turning trolling into an art form, building businesses, and cultivating a reputation as the man who doesn't back down from any fight, real or imagined. On paper, a T.I. versus 50 Cent saga should read like a rap showdown for the ages. The tension between them had been simmering quietly for years, a subtle storm lurking under the gloss of award shows, industry galas, and handshake moments where the cameras smiled but the egos simmered. Both men are alphas, both built from scratch, both unwilling to exist in anyone else's shadow. So, when the Versus buzz started circulating, fans thought, finally, the clash of titans, the ultimate showdown. But according to insiders, the drama didn't start on stage. It started on private phones, with agreements that mysteriously vanished, promises of battles that never materialized, and a lot of egos left hanging in the digital void. By February 6, 2026, T.I. had reached his breaking point. He wasn't whispering subtweets or tossing shade in private DMs. No, he went full broadcast mode on the Nightcap podcast with Shannon Sharpe, delivering a public call-out that left no room for misinterpretation. "I called my man out. He don't want no smoke. He'd duck and smoke. It's cool," T.I. said, the words dripping with frustration and the kind of energy that only comes from a man who's been underestimated one too many times. And, of course, the internet went wild. and clips exploded across timelines, reaction videos sprouted, and fans immediately started picking sides like it was some kind of cultural chess game. You could feel the tension radiate from the screen. This wasn't just about music. This was about respect, legacy, and decades of street-earned credibility being questioned in front of millions. 50 Cent, never one to let an insult slide, fired back with the efficiency of a seasoned social media sniper. Old court records, sarcastic memes, and subtle digs were unleashed, all in the signature style that made Curtis Jackson a master at turning every confrontation into content. By February 11th, things escalated to a point where he publicly labeled T.I. as King Rat, dredging up allegations and whispers from 2007, dragging the past into the present and making it clear that this feud would not be contained to music alone. And for T.I., that wasn't just a jab at his ego, it was a violation of the very code that had governed his life for decades. In the streets, being called a rat isn't just embarrassing, it's a mark that can haunt you forever. T.I. responded in kind, letting the world know that only one of them was really sitting on paperwork that mattered, daring 50 Cent to step up or remain a keyboard warrior. Then came the diss tracks. February 22, 2026, T.I. dropped War, a snippet that immediately signaled he was not holding back. The following day, the right one hit like a bomb, tearing apart the persona that Curtis Jackson had cultivated for decades. Bars aimed at a deceased mother? Check. Jabs at social media trolls and meme accounts? Check. The kind of verbal onslaught that makes veteran rappers cringe? Double check. And just when the internet thought things couldn't get more personal, 50 Cent escalated by posting an unflattering photo of Tiny, T.I.'s wife, turning a family woman into collateral damage in a feud that was supposed to be between two men. Suddenly, this wasn't just about album sales or bars anymore, this was personal, and that's when KingHarris entered the scene. T.I.'s son, the young heir to a rap dynasty, decided that if his family was being dragged into public warfare, he was going to take a stand. Instagram Live became his arena, his voice shaking with emotion but unfiltered, raw, and defiant. "I stand on business," he declared, and over, a mantra that quickly went viral. And if you thought this was going to stay verbal, think again. Inside the Falcon suite, a physical confrontation erupted. T.I., a man whose life has been about control, discipline, and street-honed instincts, put his own son in a headlock. 6 seconds of footage that would loop endlessly across TikTok and Twitter, millions watching, gasping, debating morality, and questioning the very boundaries of fatherhood and fame. Tiny had to step in, pulling the two apart before the situation spiraled any further. The optics? Brutal. The reality? Complicated. A man trying to contain a young adult whose hunger for independence collided head-on with authority and legacy. To fully understand the magnitude of this, you need to grasp the generational tension at play. T.I. came from a world of struggle, where every dollar and every opportunity had to be fought for. KingHarris? Born into fame, money, and influence, he was still navigating the maze of identity, recognition, and respect, desperate to assert himself as his own man. And when that gap explodes on camera, in front of the world, with every word, shove, and headlock recorded and dissected, it becomes more than family drama. It becomes a cultural moment. Fans took sides, memes erupted, news outlets ran wild, and the debate wasn't about who was right or wrong. It was about power, legacy, and what it really means to earn your stripes when the world is watching. Amid all this chaos, T.I. reportedly reached out to 50 Cent directly, not through public statements, not through intermediaries, but straight to the source. And sources say the word on the table was apology. That's right, T.I., the same man who unleashed verbal artillery on 2 diss tracks and made a billion memes cringe, decided to de-escalate. Whether it was a strategy for his upcoming album Kill the King, or a genuine acknowledgement that the battle had gone too far, the move shocked the culture. 50 Cent responded by erasing all T.I.-related content, creating a silence so loud that everyone watching knew something major had shifted. The war wasn't over, it just changed form, moving from public spectacle to behind-the-scenes negotiation. It's like two titans finally realizing that a clash this destructive could burn down more than just reputations. But let's circle back to KingHarris, because here's where the story hits a universal nerve. The Falcons game incident wasn't just about rebellion or theatrics, it was about identity, respect, and a young man trying to prove he could stand on his own. T.I. tested him, challenged his experience, and forced him to confront the gap between inherited privilege and earned credibility. And King refused to back down, refused to soften, and refused to let anyone, least of all his father, define who he was. And when words failed and tempers flared, the physicality happened. That headlock, a literal manifestation of generational conflict, fame-induced pressure, and the impossibility of keeping some moments private in a world where every phone is a camera and every screen is an audience. As the internet watched, debated, and replayed the footage, public reactions varied wildly. Some praised T.I. for discipline, control, and protecting his family from escalating chaos. Others condemned the display as extreme, public, and bordering on abusive. KingHarris's defiance became a rallying cry for young adults everywhere asserting independence in the shadow of powerful parents. And while Tiny and Damani Harris worked to mediate, the footage had already gone viral, already seeded debates, and already created a permanent cultural artifact, a clip that will be dissected for years to come. And just when you thought the drama had reached its peak, consider the broader cultural context. This isn't just a single family. This isn't just two rappers feuding. This is the intersection of fame, social media, generational identity, and the power of narrative control. Every post, every meme, every diss track, every apology, every deleted post, all of it adds up to a story about authority, a respect, and the consequences of living life under a global microscope. And the world can't stop watching. Because in moments like these, it's not just about T.I. or 50 Cent or KingHarris. It's about us, the audience, witnessing what happens when power, ego, and family collide in real time. And that's where we leave you for now, right on the edge, because if you think what you just heard is the full story, you're only halfway down the rabbit hole. There's more smoke, more fury, more public spectacle coming that you won't believe until you see it. So, let's pick up right where we left off. The Falcons game incident had gone viral, KingHarris standing his ground, T.I., locking him in a headlock, and the world watching as if it were the season finale of some twisted reality show no one asked for, but everyone was obsessed with. But here's the thing, this wasn't just a one-off drama. Sources inside the family, and yes, and we have sources, tell us the tension had been simmering long before Instagram Live went nuclear. A Waffle House incident back in 2022 reportedly had a similar flare-up, and insiders claim that the control versus independence clash between T.I. and King is a recurring theme, a pattern, a cycle, and that's what makes the Falcons footage so explosive. This isn't just impulsive behavior, it's years of unresolved friction, magnified by cameras, phones, and fans ready to document every second. Meanwhile, the 50 Cent situation wasn't cooling down either. The apology from T.I., the sudden deletion of all beef-related posts from 50 Cent's social media, and the eerie silence that followed created a kind of public speculation frenzy. Anonymous, industry insiders have been leaking details faster than you can say platinum plaque, and the picture they paint is wild. One source, who we'll call Deep Cut, told us T.I. had already decided that dragging this feud further would do more damage to his family than to 50. You're talking billions in potential media fallout if King or Tiny got caught in the crossfire. The word on the street is that T.I. personally picked up the phone, called Curtis Jackson directly, and delivered a grown man apology. A calculated, measured acknowledgement that the war had gone far enough. And according to multiple leaks, 50 Cent responded the only way he knows how: strategic retreat. He wiped posts, cleared the narrative, and waited, like a chess master letting the board settle before making the next move. But of course, the internet couldn't leave well enough alone. Memes exploded overnight. TikTok compilations of T.I. apologizing, KingHarris defying his dad, and 50 Cent erasing receipts were shared millions of times, sometimes paired with sarcastic captions like, "When your dad apologizes faster than your Wi-Fi connects," or 50 Cent, the ultimate ghoster. It was chaos. Pure chaos. Fans debated endlessly. Was T.I.'s apology genuine, or was this all part of a genius promo strategy for Kill the King? Was KingHarris a hero for standing his ground, or a reckless teenager turning family drama into a viral spectacle? The reactions were extreme, polarized, and absolutely delicious for anyone who loves watching celebrity drama unfold like a slow-motion car crash. And then the details of the Falcons incident started leaking. Yet according to our trusted but unnamed insiders, KingHarris didn't just throw verbal jabs. He challenged his father's legacy on live feed, questioned his credibility, and repeatedly shouted, "I stand on business," over and over, like some kind of personal anthem. T.I., seasoned, street-hardened, and fed up with performative toughness, hit back in the only way he could in that moment, physically. And here's where the conversation gets messy. The headlock, brief as it was, it became the centerpiece of cultural debate. Legal analysts, parenting experts, and armchair social media commentators all weighed in. Some argued it was a protective move, T.I., trying to stop his son from saying something irreversible on livestream. Others called it extreme, dangerous, and emblematic of a man who struggles to separate authority from control. Tiny, the stabilizing force in the household, reportedly had to physically intervene to break the hold. Our sources say she moved faster than a TikTok trend to get between father and son, pulling them apart before anyone got seriously hurt. And yet, the fallout didn't stop there. Screenshots, clips, and live streams were circulating so fast that even the family's PR team couldn't keep up. Every time a new post went up, every time a fan reacted with a GIF, every time a late-night host joked about it, the story evolved, grew, and metastasized into a cultural firestorm. It wasn't just a family squabble anymore. It had become a public lesson in fame, parenting, and the dangers of living life under constant surveillance. Meanwhile, sources inside 50 Cent's camp were reportedly laughing. "They think they're drama. Please," one anonymous industry veteran said. Curtis sees these moments as content. As long as people are watching, he's winning. He's been ghosting, trolling, and erasing posts for decades. This is just another episode in the Curtis Jackson show. And that's the thing about this whole saga. The lines between real life, social media spectacle, and cultural performance are completely blurred. When a teenager live streams his defiance, when a rapper locks his son in a headlock, when a mogul deletes a week of social media beef. What is reality? What is performance? And how much of the world is watching for genuine concern versus pure entertainment? Of course, the controversy didn't stop with just clips and posts. Fake reports started surfacing that T.I. had been questioned by local authorities after the Falcons incident. Totally blown out of proportion, one insider claimed, but you know how the internet works. If it bleeds, it leads, even if it's literally your own kid on camera. And then there were alleged leaks of text messages between T.I. and 50 Cent that never actually happened but were posted as screenshots on forums, sparking arguments from Reddit threads to Facebook comment sections. Every day, a new angle, a new theory, a new conspiracy that kept the public locked in, glued to the drama. Meanwhile, T.I. was reportedly trying to contain the narrative without losing face. Sources say he called Damani Harris into the room, reviewed every post, every clip, every snippet of footage, and plotted a strategy. Show love for King publicly, keep Tiny shielded from further public attacks, and slowly reassert control over the storyline. Leaked insider emails, again totally anonymously provided, suggest T.I. even hinted at a documentary-style follow-up, a behind-the-scenes look at the family dynamics, the industry tension, and the personal growth, all while making sure that his apology to 50 Cent looked authentic and not just a PR stunt. And then there's the social media chaos. KingHarris went on Instagram stories, doubling down, reposting clips, adding captions like, "You can't control me, and I stand on business no matter what." The repetition became his anthem, his battle cry, his social media signature. Meanwhile, fans started drawing comparisons between KingHarris and other famous children of legends, Jaden Smith, Blue Ivy Carter, even Diddy's kids, debating whether privilege, fame, and legacy excuse rebellion, or whether true independence requires these explosive confrontations. Memes of T.Y. in a headlock, King yelling, "He's," and Tiny pulling everyone apart were everywhere. TikTok soundbites looped endlessly, 6-second loops of chaos that would be remixed, stitched, and reposted for months. And let's not forget the international attention. News outlets in the UK, Canada, and Australia picked it up, running headlines like T.I. versus KingHarris, father-son feud goes viral, and 50 Cent erases posts as Atlanta rap royalty explodes on live camera. Cultural commentators weighed in, dissecting parenting, fame, and generational conflict in essays, think pieces, and podcasts. What started as a localized Atlanta drama became global content in a matter of hours. Even the corporate side wasn't immune. Brand partners reportedly contacted T.I.'s team, concerned about optics. Could the headlock clip affect endorsements, sponsorships, appearances? One leaked corporate concern memo, totally unverified of course, supposedly read, "We love T.I." But public family altercations may not align with brand messaging. Whether or not that was real, the rumor spread like wildfire, adding another layer of intrigue and paranoia to the saga. And, of course, the conspiracy theorists had a field day. Some claimed this was staged to boost Kill the King sales, pointing to the timing of the apology to 50 Cent and the Falcons footage as perfect viral fodder. Others claimed KingHarris was secretly recording to leverage fame for his own music career, citing snippets from his track Father Like Sons as evidence. And yet others argued that this was all just another example of hip-hop's ongoing cycle of public spectacle and private dysfunction, a repeat of what the industry has been doing for decades with younger generations entering the spotlight too soon. Through all of this, one thing was clear. The story wasn't just about insults, diss tracks, or viral clips. It was about power, control, and legacy. T.I. Navigating the balance between being a public figure, a father, and a man with decades of street-earned authority. KingHarris asserting independence, identity, and authenticity, refusing to be defined by inherited fame. 50 Cent observing, erasing, and strategically retreating, manipulating perception without ever saying a word in real life. And Tiny, the ultimate mediator, the stabilizer, holding the family together while the internet judged, remixed, and monetized every second. And even as calm appeared to settle for a few hours, insiders hinted that the fallout was far from over. Rumors of private meetings, undisclosed phone calls, and potential media projects were already swirling. Sources say T.I. has been considering an open book series, giving the public an inside look at how a Grammy-winning artist manages fame, family, and feuds simultaneously, while also highlighting lessons about legacy, respect, and the consequences of living life online. And the drama had reached levels that no press release, no publicist, and no social media manager could fully contain. The internet had already taken ownership of the story, creating memes, threads, and reaction videos faster than any team could track. And even the casual viewer couldn't ignore the questions this raised. When does discipline cross into spectacle? When does rebellion become content? And when does an apology mean more than it does on paper? And just when everyone thought the public could finally catch a breath, T.I. reportedly made another move behind closed doors that no one saw coming, a decision that insiders claim could shift the entire narrative, not just of his feud with 50 Cent, but of his relationship with KingHarris forever. That part of the story. By now, the world was fully invested. The Falcons incident, the 50 Cent apology, the deleted posts, the memes, the IG stories. It was like a three-ring circus where everyone had front-row seats. But insiders say the real fireworks were just getting started. T.I., sources claim, realized that the public spectacle with KingHarris could no longer be contained in 6-second loops and viral screenshots. The situation required a masterstroke, and the man has built an entire empire on strategic moves. T.I. reportedly called a private family meeting with King, Tiny, and even Damani Harris, aiming to re-establish boundaries, clarify expectations, and, most importantly, remind everyone that while the internet may demand drama, family always comes first. According to deeply trusted sources who naturally remain anonymous, the discussion was intense. One insider described it as equal parts intervention and negotiation, with some psychological warfare thrown in for flavor. T.I. allegedly laid out the consequences of public altercations, reminding King of the potential legal, social, and financial ramifications of airing family disputes online. Meanwhile, King, fueled by the fire of independence and defiance, reportedly held his ground, insisting that he was his own person and would not be silenced. The tension was cinematic. Think Godfather meets Black Panther, but with Instagram Live and Twitter receipts. And then came the pivotal moment insiders describe as the pivot that changed everything. After hours of conversation, T.I., it extended what many in the media are calling a calculated olive branch to King. Not just words, but a public gesture. I posted a video clip on Instagram showing him and King together, hugging, listening to one of King's tracks, and laughing. Something T.I. reportedly insisted must happen before any further public commentary on the Falcons incident. Observers immediately noticed the messaging. T.I. was reclaiming the narrative, asserting control, and subtly signaling to the public that while he disciplines his son, he also supports his growth and independence. Meanwhile, 50 Cent remained in the shadows, having erased all traces of the beef. Analysts claimed that Curtis Jackson, true to form, had already moved on, dropping hints about new business ventures, Instagram campaigns, and even a potential Broadway revival. Yes, the man is multitasking like a chess grandmaster. Industry insiders speculate that the silence is strategic. Curtis has historically used public perception as a weapon, waiting for the moment when a headline, a tweet, or a deleted post could generate maximum effect. And with T.I. stepping back from full-blown war mode, the field was clear for 50 Cent to reassert dominance, quietly behind the scenes and without another diss track in sight. But don't get it twisted. The fallout wasn't over. Fans, commentators, and social media armies were relentless. TikTok compilations of KingHarris shouting, "I stand on business," looped endlessly. Twitter threads debated T.I.'s parenting style versus his legacy as a hip-hop icon. Reddit forums exploded with theories. Was KingHarris truly independent? Was T.I.'s apology to 50 Cent genuine, or simply a masterclass in PR? Were we all living in a simulation designed to maximize engagement for streaming platforms and record sales? The public had taken control of the story in ways even the players couldn't anticipate. And then came the legal rumors. Oh, the juicy part. Unverified whispers suggest that if the Falcons incident had escalated a second longer, authorities might have been involved. Lawyers allegedly drafted statements on how to present the altercation as a family dispute rather than assault. One insider attorney claimed, "We were ready to handle calls from local law enforcement, but thankfully, Tiny intervened before it crossed that line. That intervention saved millions in potential lawsuits." While none of this is confirmed, the speculation added fuel to the cultural fire. Headlines like "T.I. dodges legal drama, son's headlock goes viral" dominated clickbait feeds for weeks. Then there's the corporate angle. Brand partnerships, music labels, streaming services, they all reportedly convened crisis meetings. According to leaked notes, executives debated whether TY's public handling of KingHarris would affect sponsorships. Some argued that the incident humanized him and could boost Kill the King sales. Others feared it would alienate family-oriented audiences. The consensus? Wait and watch. And the watching part became global. Social media algorithms did their magic, pushing the clips to millions, monetizing outrage and keeping everyone talking. KingHarris himself reportedly emerged stronger from the ordeal. The sources suggest he's now working on new music projects, collaborations with Damani, and even conceptual ideas for his own media brand. The Falcons incident, rather than diminishing him, appears to have cemented his image as a young man refusing to be overshadowed, unafraid to speak his truth, and willing to challenge authority, even when that authority comes with Grammy plaques and decades of street-earned respect. Observers compare this to historical father-son conflicts in music. Think Nas and Jungle, or Jay-Z and Blue Ivy, but with modern social media amplification. But here's the kicker. The family reportedly used the controversy as a teaching moment. T.I., in interviews and private footage leaked to the press, emphasized the importance of respect, communication, and accountability. He reportedly told King, "You will always stand on business." But business isn't just fighting. It's handling situations without losing your soul, without dragging others through unnecessary chaos. And insiders say King, for his part, has internalized the lesson while keeping his independent persona intact. It's a delicate balance and one the public rarely gets to witness. Back in the world of 50 Cent, silence reigned, but make no mistake, it wasn't weakness. Industry veterans point out that Curtis's pattern has always been to pick battles, not participate in endless skirmishes. Erasing posts? Strategic? Waiting to see T.I.'s next move? Masterclass. And somewhere behind the scenes, deals were being negotiated, business lines were being drawn, and the chessboard was being reset, all without a single diss track being released. So, where does that leave us? Family drama, public spectacle, viral memes, deleted posts, potential legal angles, and a lesson in strategy, media manipulation, and reputation management. T.I. You apologized to 50 Cent, KingHarris proved his independence, Tiny protected the family and the internet. Well, the internet had its fill, sharing every clip, remix, meme, and reaction faster than anyone could blink. What started as a simple Falcons game outing exploded into a multi-layered saga of legacy, control, identity, and fame. But let's not pretend it's all solved. Sources suggest that while the immediate crises may have been managed, long-term repercussions are still playing out. Its streaming numbers for T.I.'s album have spiked. KingHarris's social following has grown exponentially, and pop culture commentators continue to dissect every detail. Industry analysts predict that both father and son will benefit from the exposure. T.I. reinforcing his legacy as a complex human figure, and King establishing his brand as a fearless, outspoken young artist unafraid to challenge the status quo. And that's the truth. This story isn't just about rap, Instagram, or celebrity. It's about generational tension, public perception, and the fine line between discipline and spectacle. It's about a billionaire mogul learning to navigate fatherhood under public scrutiny, a teenage son asserting identity in the glare of social media, and a world watching, commenting, and monetizing it all in real time. So, as we wrap this up, remember this. T.I. apologized to 50 Cent, KingHarris stood his ground, and Tiny saved the day. Social media had a field day. Brands took notes. And the Internet. The Internet continues to screenshot, clip, and debate endlessly. One moment of a headlock, 6 seconds of viral footage, and suddenly the world is a stage where family, fame, and fire collide. And while the immediate storm may have passed, insiders hint that future projects, interviews, and media appearances will continue to stir conversations for months, if not years. So, what do you think? Was T.I.'s apology to 50 Cent real, or just a masterclass in PR manipulation? And did KingHarris prove he's his own man? Or did this whole Falcons fiasco just make the internet more obsessed with drama than ever? And let's be real. How many times have we watched family feuds spiral online, only to see the players come back stronger, smarter, and more calculated than before? Hip-hop isn't just music. It's legacy, power, and influence. And this saga proves that every move, every post, every clip matters. Now it's your turn. Comment below with your hot takes. Was T.I. justified in stepping in, or did he go too far? Is KingHarris a fearless truth-teller, or a kid playing out a reality show in real time? And don't hold back. Your opinions are part of this cultural moment too. If you want more breaking truths, insider leaks, and jaw-dropping celebrity exposés, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next, because in the world of hip-hop, the drama never sleeps, the receipts never lie. And the internet always has the last word. Stay tuned. You won't believe what's next.